So let me tell you what happened next week. Oh my gosh. It was a hot mess. I ran this live webinar and everything that could go wrong went wrong. I kid you not. Part of the video had no sound when I first started. My dog freaking started losing his mind, Monkey, the Yorkie. If you follow me on social media, you see that little twerp. As soon as I was supposed to start, he like lost his shit. Um, women were on the video going, I can't hear. Some of them just bailed, and I don't blame them. I mean, come on. I ran ads. Uh, like there were hundreds of women who signed up, and most of them have no idea who I am. They don't follow me on social media. Like this is their first encounter with me, and they come to this webinar, and it's a shit show. My screen share was a total disaster at the beginning. And you guys, I don't know what the deal was because that's not the normal, right? I mean, you guys, you've probably been on my presentations or whatever. Anyway, so there I was sitting there thinking, are you freaking kidding me? Like, really? And I had spent hours, I like, I shit you not. I had spent hours that day making things better, like tweaking slides, adding new things, trying to really make sure, like, this webinar, I wanted it to be the best version yet. And then total chaos. It was embarrassing. Like that is how it went. It was embarrassing. And honestly, there was a time when I probably would have panicked. I don't know. I might have even like hyperventilated. I don't know. But it definitely would have thrown me off completely. But I took a deep breath. I'm not going to say my heart wasn't beating fast because it was. And there were some nerves definitely, but I took a deep breath. I pulled it together and I just like I kept going. And you know what happened? The women who stuck around, and there were a lot of them, to their credit, there were a lot of them. They got exactly what they needed on that webinar. Several of them have messaged me since then and told me that. So it's not just me like saying it, but they got what they needed. They started to learn about why and how their bodies are hanging on to weight and why like working out and, eating less and working out more is not the answer to this struggle. They saw a real science-backed way to start to reset their metabolism. And they had somebody there with them who was real. I mean, if you can't see flaws like that and relate and know that somebody is just like, that's a real person, I mean, so I hope they saw someone that they could relate to because I'm not perfect. And I admitted it right there on the webinar. But because they hung around and they had some grace with me, they left with exactly the next best step for them to start seeing like real change. And out of all of that, I thought about it that night. I even posted about it. You might have seen me post about it because after the webinar that evening, like I did kind of a later post. Here's what I thought. You know what? There's something about this that I love, and here's what I love most. Maybe I'm just delusional and I needed to make myself feel better, but what I love most about that is a bunch of the women on the webinar took action despite my messiness, despite the tech issues and the sound, like a bunch of them took action that night. And it got me to thinking, and I was like, here's the thing. Success is not about doing things perfectly, right? And I mean, we know that logically, but the reality of that was in those moments or minutes, too long of that chaos. Success is not about things going perfectly or you doing things perfectly. Success is about showing up, not giving up, and continuing to show up even when they don't go perfectly. Hell, even when they don't even go well. It's like messy starts versus no start at all. And what are you going to choose? And so, from kind of all of that thinking about it, I was like, how many times have I talked to women and I know that you've told yourself, like, I'll start on Monday, or I'll get serious after the holidays, or I'll get serious when school gets out, for spring break or this summer. I'll do it once, my life kind of calms down or work calms down or whatever. Then I'll be able to focus on me. And here's the thing, like, what if you just started messy? What if you just started in the midst of chaos? Like, what if you said, to hell with it? I don't know, screw it. And you took one imperfect step instead of waiting for this magical, mythical, perfect time that, I mean, let's be real, it's never coming, right? And so here's what I've noticed. So, I mean, I probably thought way too much about this, right? Like, but here's what I've noticed. The women I work with in my program, my clients who are actually seeing results, who get lasting results, they don't wait for things to be perfect. Some of them have enrolled in the middle of divorce, loss of a parent or, other. They have enrolled in the middle of, some of them have enrolled after they've been laid off from a job. Some of them have enrolled while they're in the midst of dealing with an illness or dealing with an illness with someone in their family. They don't wait for things to get better or feel right or any of those things. They had messy starts. And I'm not saying, you need to be in the middle of something really tragic or really life altering to have a messy start. I mean, you can have a messy start on any given day, right? But these women, they don't have it all figured out and it's okay. They don't wait for it to get figured out. They just go for it anyway. And I really do believe that's a part of why they see real change. I think people who can put aside that kind of thinking, that I need to wait or I need to learn more or I need to do this, like whatever that delays a start, I think those are people who actually have a higher incidence of success at whatever they're trying to do. They build even stronger resistance and persistence and determination, and all of that kind of stacks brick by brick into a lot more of what they want in life. And so I wanted to talk with you about this today because I thought, how many of you are listening to this each week and you're sitting there thinking, oh, win this, win that. And so I hope you're sitting there right now thinking, oof, ooh, she's talking about me. She's talking to me. Because yeah, I am. I am talking to you. And not because I'm calling you out. That's not what I do here, right? I'm It's you. I'm talking to you because I was you. I remember being there. I remember spending years waiting for that right time, waiting for, I don't know, the motivation or for things to settle down, however you want to describe it. And what happened as a result of waiting was, well, I mean, nothing happened. That's the whole point. Nothing happened until I finally said, okay, Lori, this is bullshit. Let's just start, even if it's messy, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it's chaotic. And when I did that, day by day, hell, minute by minute, sometimes, seriously, things started lining up and eventually everything changed. And so I guess I'm asking you, like, what if you did that? What if you did that, like right now? What if you, I don't know, registered for my next webinar, sent me a message, or maybe it doesn't have anything to do about me with me. It's, something else that you're wanting to do, you're wanting to take a step on, and you're scared to. What if you just did that? The women who were registered for that webinar, I hope a bunch of them took the next step the next day. I hope that even if they didn't take the next step, if maybe you were on that webinar. So if you didn't take the step that I offered in that session last week, I hope you'll hear this message today. Send me a message, reach out to me, because truly the key is just the next step. It doesn't have to be tomorrow or next week or like, what am I going to do to solve it? All it has to be is your first decision to take the first step, whatever that is. Because again, waiting for the perfect time is not, I mean, that is part of what is keeping you freaking stuck, right? So let me kind of wind this up and leave you with this. No matter what it is that you want to do, whatever goals you have, like what's one thing that you've been waiting on that you haven't started because it doesn't feel right or perfect? Whatever that is, take one step. If it has to do with your health and your weight loss, maybe it's going for that first walk, or I don't know, eating a better meal today, like making a better choice, a healthier choice for yourself today, or actually like prioritizing yourself, whether that means taking 5 minutes by yourself, taking a bubble bath, taking a day off of work, whatever it is that means, that looks like, prioritizing you. Do it today. Just one thing, even if it's messy, even if it's tiny, because all of those little small steps add up. And even more because in 6 months, here's the thing, you either are going to be so glad that you started today, or in 6 months, you're still going to be sitting in the same space, looking back and wishing you had taken one step 6 months ago. Your choice. I mean, as always, right? Your choice. Okay, that's it for today. I hope this hit home with you. If it did, share it with somebody who you know could benefit from it. If you're ready to take that first step with me, send me a message, send me an email, or whatever. Okay, thanks for being here. I'll see you right back here next time.